All right, good morning. Call this meeting to order, determine there is a quorum. We have Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Kerr Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Garcia, and Commissioner Flores. We have a quorum. If y'all don't mind, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Flores, if you don't mind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank y'all. Approving and amending minutes, number 5.
Move.
Have a motion. Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Anybody, any conversation? All in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Citizens' comments, we have none. Item 7, move. Approving bills. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Any questions?
Point of order 7 is approving monthly report.
Approving monthly reports, here we go again.
One.
Yeah, I bought it so I could mark them. Approving monthly reports from elected officials. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 8, approving bills for payment.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Nothing in there for surprises.
No surprises.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 9, discussion possible action to approve the auditor's report.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Once again.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 10, discussion possible action on the following budget adjustments. A, there is one, transfer of $3,000 from travel and training fund to 83rd Office Supply Fund.
Motion to approve, Judge.
A motion, Commissioner Flores.
Second, Judge.
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. And I appreciate Judge Cadena on the budget adjustments. I know that I'd even gotten a little bit haywire where I put them in my line and under my name or whatever, but if we'll continue this, if the department has a budget adjustment if we can put it under yours, that way we'll make sure it's okay before it comes to the court.
Thank
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 11, discussion possible action on the certification of revenue. We have one item. A, Texas Association of Counties, $1,866.88. It's for an auto claim for the sheriff's office.
Motion to approve, Judge.
And then go into insurance.
Actually, this repair is a simple repair, so this one was already done.
I'll
So
second it.
you should go into auto. Sure.
Okay.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 12, discussion possible action on renewal agreement for Affordable Care Act reporting contracting. Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Y'all don't mind, I'm gonna skip to item 26 into 27. We got people in the audience, I'm sure that they need to go back to work. Item 26, discussion possible action on approving a lease between Valverde County and Del Rio Little League on behalf of Bobby Briones.
Motion to approve, Judge.
And
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Wardlaw. They had, they'd already had a lease in place that we had approved, they're just moving it up,
On the
a
date.
couple of weeks.
Okay.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 27, discussion possible action on approving lease between Valverde County, Del Rio, Laughlin Youth Soccer Association.
I'll second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Wardlaw. We do have another league that we'll put on the agenda in June, to come back to be able to start getting, dates for the following year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Thank y'all. Item 13, there is none. Item 14, discussion possible action on moving Commissioners Court set for February 26, 2025 to another date due to board meeting in Uvalde with Middle
Motion
Repair.
to approve that, Judge.
I'll second that for discussion, Judge. Can we move it on, day before?
We can move it on Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Matt, we okay with that?
That's
Moving the meeting to the 25th?
the 25th.
Okay, you vote the motion, accepts. Okay. Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. To
I
move
don't
in.
know that I won't be able to make it, Judge.
Okay.
I have a meeting that morning. Want to do it Thursday?
You have something?
Yeah, I got something Thursday.
Can we try to figure out another date so that way maybe we can accommodate?
It don't matter to me. Monday? Matt? Monday's gonna give you heartburn.
Friday?
We have that in order, we can do that, we can do Monday. We'll just send out an email to the bills.
Monday?
That'd be fine.
That work? That'd be on the 24th of February. Everybody's okay with that? Okay. Motion on the 24th of February, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Thank you. Item 15, discussion possible action on, releasing funds to the City of Del Rio Nutrition, Texas Feeding Texans, delivered, meal grant program for $9,919 approved by Commissioners Court October 23rd. Matt, on this one here, had we taken it, when we approved it, we didn't set a line item for it though, did we?
Correct, you did not, I believe the transaction was contingency, and then we, did budget adjustment to grant receipts, so that we can record the grants that we received.
So it would come out of grant receipts, or what do you say? Where are you gonna take, where do you want the money from?
Contingency.
Okay.
Remove the grant receipts.
Okay, that'll work. Will the motion be?
That'll be part of my motion, Judge.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez. Second. Any second?
Yes, sir.
Second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? And this one here, Matt, what we'll do is when we prepare the budget for the next fiscal year, we'll put the money in on a separate line item. Item 16, discussion possible action to allow.
Motion to approve, Judge.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores. I have a second.
I will second that, Judge.
I have a second, Commissioner Vasquez. Is there any questions on this?
That's pretty much, their base pay and their ending pay, right? When they leave.
What the
And
position
then
is
that
making.
position, you can hire in between.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you hire at base pay.
You can hire between base pay, whatever that is. Just to give an example, if your base pay is $24,000 and that position when it left is making $35,000. The elected officials, the department heads have the ability to hire within that window, between whatever the base pay is and whatever that
Person
position
that
is.
departed.
Yes. Yeah. And it helps with, if you get somebody that's already trained and is moving from another, it just helps.
Yes.
And you're not,
I'm speaking on another government entity.
yeah.
Hey, Judge, I have a question on that. Individual base 40,000, the individual that left there is 44,000. With this order, you're giving the elected official the authority to bring them in at 44.
44, yes.
Right. Is it plausible that the EO brings them in at 40, puts them on a 3 or 6 month probation period, and then has the latitude to take it up to 44? Or once they bring them in, is it
And I
set?
think that would be up to the elected official or department head. I can tell you that I know that the sheriff's office does it, so does fire. When you try to bring them in, it's gonna give the sheriff's office a little bit more leeway, because they're not gonna bring them in at the 45. They're gonna bring them in at the base pay. And then, when they get trained and everything, and if they stay, they can bump them up to the 45 or whatever that position was.
Okay. Are they gonna have to, when they go from that 40, complete the probation period, go to the 44, is that gonna have to come back to court, or is that something that's just gonna have to be remembered
Now, because
to go up to 44?
that probation is normal on any position. So whatever we hire them at that amount stays there. If for some reason they don't cut it during that probation, then they get removed.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's just something that we're gonna have to handle
I would think that.
separately.
I would think, in answer to your direct question, it doesn't have to be brought back to court.
It does not have to be, okay.
Because
So,
you're giving the elected official the ability to hire between both.
That authority, yeah.
I just don't want to slow down this process.
Well, I think,
I get what he's
just to
saying.
make a comment on Matt's point, because obviously the auditor and the treasurer need to know what they're gonna be cutting checks for. So if you start them out at 40, and then 6 months later, they're gonna go up to 44, there's gonna have to be an order to show that, to reflect that difference.
But why would there have to be an order? Why couldn't Juanita take care of it with the elected official or the department head?
a letter's going to suffice for us, now that we know that it's not going to take,
No.
but it's
So the
going to
letter
take,
would work.
it's going to take some tracking that we have to remember what that last person left at during the
But to be
budget cycle.
clear, the motion doesn't talk about a change in probation agreement. The motion is, you have the
ability.
official has the discretion to hire between base pay and the
Yes.
pay rate when they left. There's no mention in the motion about starting at the base pay and then moving them up.
Okay, so, but if the elected official or the department head would have that ability,
Absolutely, but that's
Yes.
not what the motion is. That's my
but they'd
point.
still have that ability.
Yeah.
I'm asking, I'm not
Sure.
arguing.
Sure.
And it is going to be a little bit harder, I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Juanita will have to make sure that those letters get, by the elected official or department head, get sent in with plenty of time in order to be able to reflect the amount of pay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no, that's fine, and, enough time would be great, because we'll probably involve some research, because we're going to have to remember what the last person left 9 months ago.
And the thing is, though, that Juanita she should have all that. It's part of HR when she gets them signed up.
They're still part of the HR report, so it's gonna be reflected
Okay,
on the reports.
Okay, great, thank you.
thank you. And I'm sorry for making it so difficult. I have a motion and I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Discussion possible action on DOT requirements for Already County commercial vehicles and to set a policy if necessary. We had a question, 2 weeks ago on DOT. There was concerns that, because our vehicles were exempt, the new DOT or the rules about getting an inspection sticker wouldn't have to go get the inspection sticker. We had already talked to individuals, from DOT, and we had talked to, Ms. Garcia. And what had been sent out to everybody was that go get your DOT inspection, come back and get your exempt plates. In visiting with David, even though that might not be necessary, we thought that it would probably be better if we continued that process. Go get the DOT inspection on your commercial vehicles, anything that's over 26,000, 1 pound. And then go get your plates. And it would help with the inspection process, and if something happens, at least we've gotten another set of eyes on that commercial vehicle. And if y'all are okay with that,
I make a motion just to approve
leave it
that.
like that? Okay.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, and Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Elizabeth, that's what we have sent out. Right? Okay. Item 18, discussion possible action on disbursement of materials that county receives from TxDOT. We just dispersed some materials. I don't know the way y'all want to handle it. The way I did it this last time, it was based on percentages of miles of road that y'all have. We have asked for the material also out there on 277 south. Actually, the base material, not the millings. When I get it, and they give us a total, what we can do is prepare a chart as to the disbursement amount. And I know that at some point, some of y'all might need more material if y'all have a special project going on, and we might move that disbursement. I just need I need some guidance. If y'all are okay with the way it was dispersed this last time, to go by percentages. If not, then y'all come back with another deal,
I think that was a good way we dispersed.
And again, if y'all have a special project that we know that's coming up in y'all's precinct, we can try to get that project done. That way it doesn't hurt your budget.
Judge, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go by the mileage.
There's a percentage.
Nothing, it's all,
I just want to make sure that I don't, that I didn't overstep there.
no, you're good.
Okay.
So as a special project, if we wanted extra base material for the gun range,
If you can bring it, and we'll know how much material you're going to need, and then what I'll do is if we've got enough time, we'll put it on the court. If we don't, then we'll just come up with a decision. and we'll go from there.
And we'll have the fairgrounds coming up soon, and it doesn't figure in, it does not figure into the percentages.
The other thing, that we need to keep in mind that all precincts have a budget to buy material. Sometimes we don't have this opportunity with TxDOT. They don't have this kind of material available all the time. It's once in a while, so.
Well, the gun range isn't a precinct 3 project, it's a county-wide project.
No, and we have a couple of items later on. I'm trying to help with that. Then we'll come up with a plan here in a minute. But we do have, fire station, gun range, and event center. 3 projects that are coming up that we know already more or less how much material is going to be needed. There is money in some of those projects for material. So I would think that we hit those funds first and then try to keep that material that TxDOT has over to one side for y'all. Because we don't want to affect y'all's budget.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's like the gun range, we have to worry about coming in over budget, and we can finish out more of the inside if we can come in under budget. So if we were to get some of that base material, it would leave more room in that budget to finish out the inside. That's my only concern.
No, I understand. But when we get it, we'll figure out how much material we're talking about. And then there is funds we can pull from other funds.
Okay.
Okay. And like I told you when you come in, you're not going to be left alone.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Okay. No action needs to be taken. Item 19, discussion possible action on letter received by county judge from Ms. Burkhart, city manager. There was a letter that was sent out. There were some points on it. I know that y'all got it. Y'all received it. Urgent and important water issues. Not going to read the letter, but I will tell you that basically on the water issues, they're about $21 million what they need. And what concerned me was that there's an option to consider sharing the cost between the city, the county, and the EDC. And I would assume that she's asking us to share the cost on water because we're receiving grants in order to put in water lines outside of the city limits. So I would assume that's why they brought that up. But let me try to be real nice. The lines that we put in outside of the city limits do nothing but create another revenue source for the city. They are also charging more money for people outside the city limits, a percentage higher than what they charge individuals inside the city limits. And we've heard over and over again since I was commissioner that it's not fair for the citizens of the city of Del Rio to have to pay, that their tax dollars go to fund water lines, and it's not fair to them because they're paying taxes. And if that was the truth, then I would agree. But in their general fund, you look that they collect about $5.6 million in ad valorem tax. Now, there is a line item in their budget that says taxes. I think it's 17 million, but when you go through the breakdown, there's only about $5.6 million that is actually taxes that the citizens within the city limits pay. And when you look at their expenses, their police department, not picking on them, it's in here. Their police department is more than what is collected in city taxes. So at the end of the day, you know, when I hear that from individuals that it isn't fair that the citizens within the city limits have to pay for the water lines in taxes, that would be an absolute correct statement. But when you look at their budget, it's not there. The city does move $1.3 million over from their water line budget over into the general fund, and I've been told, you know, that helps pay administrative costs, whether it be, administrative costs, whether it be city manager, engineers, or whatever. But I haven't been able to figure out how they break that down, because the wastewater moves over 600,000, but the water moves over 1.3. And then all the other enterprise funds, it's not based on a percentage of what they're collecting. That way you could figure out, well, you know, what the city manager, what everybody cost. The water department's paying a percentage because this is how much they collect, this is how much is left over. There's no, I couldn't find a rhyme or reason.
Judge, this was a wastewater issue.
This one here was, the letter said water, and I'll go down to the wastewater in just a minute, but the letter first said water, and that's where Ms. Burkhart said that the county and the city and the EDC could partner. So we'll get to the wastewater deal in just a minute. The other thing is, I don't believe it's legal, for the county to make a payment, on something that we're not receiving a benefit from, and is also an enterprise fund. In order for us to create an enterprise fund, to be able to make money, we'd have to get permission from the state. So the other deal is, I don't think that what she's requested, if it is funds, in order to pay for the $21 million is legal. Am I correct?
That's correct.
So again, I'm not throwing rocks. I'm just trying, because I have had people call and want to know how come we would not split some of these funds. Don't think it's right. We create a revenue source, and at the end of the day, it's illegal. I want to thank Ms. Burkhart and Mr. Velasquez on the second part, which is the wastewater treatment. We toured the facility last week, or this week. When did we tour it? Monday? Okay. We toured it this week, and in that project, they're looking at more money, with the grand cost between the water and sewer, 48, take away the 21, $47 million, or 20, they put 23 plus another 4 million. In that conversation, she said that there was already $8 million for phase one, which is the trunk line, from the plant there on Frontera to, I guess, Owens, a little bit past Owens subdivision and Brewer, that right there, they have about $8 million borrowed. I don't know, poor thing, you know, bless her heart. The city manager, she sort of stepped into this. This problem has been ongoing since 2009, 2010. And we know that because they borrowed money back then, and it's part of their note. Don't understand, why councils, since then did not move the ball forward. But again, I feel bad for them. I want to thank them for allowing us to go and inviting us. I did ask a question because they said there was $4 million that they already had set aside in order to redo the plant, but it would cost another $4 million. I looked through their budget. I saw where they have the $8 million in there for the trunk line. They do have excess of $4.3 million under wastewater. So I asked the question, is that where they're getting the $4 million, or is it borrowed or something? I could not find it in their budget. But if that 4.3 is not part of the original first $4 million, it would make sense that the second $4 million come out of it. We've been asked if the court would support, for the city to go out for a bond. It's really, in my opinion, not taking a vote, but giving you all the information. It would be really hard, to go out and ask the people that pay taxes. I'm not even going to say the citizens of Del Rio, but just people that pay taxes inside the city limits, to go in and borrow more money when you have $3.8 million in excess in your fund balance in your general fund. And your general fund, by the rules that they've established, you need to have a certain percentage of your budget, which they're holding 5 months, which is more than what we have in our general fund. We have about 80 some odd days. They have 5 months set aside in their fund balance. So there's another 3.8 million above that sitting in the general fund. And then you look at their enterprise funds, and you look at the excess funds above what they're supposed to carry. They have over $11 million in their enterprise funds. So when I was asked the other night if we would support, or if I would support to go out for a bond for $48 million, my response was that I would bring it back to the court to see if the court would do a resolution in support of it. But my opinion is that you need to spend some of the money that you have in excess of what you're required to have before you go out and ask the taxpayer, I'm not even saying the citizen, but the taxpayer inside the city limits, to have to pay for a $48 million bond. This letter right here, I will tell you that, she asked if, next week, and I told her that I'd get her an answer. She wants to take the court, the water treatment plant, to go look at the water treatment plant, and I will send out an email to the court to see if y'all want to go. We'll have to post like we did this last go round. In response to the letter, I don't know what y'all's comments are, but I will tell you that the water deal can't do. The wastewater treatment plant and the trunk line, I don't understand how it's taken so long to move this ball forward. Every council member between 2008, 2009, everybody that's been in staff has known about the problem. And, the council that's here right now is fixing to take a hit and not look good because we're actually trying to get something done, which is a good thing. But they've just stepped into it. Again, I wish we could help, can't. And when it comes to the water line, all the county's doing is providing another revenue source. We are fixing to have to spend in Escondido and your precinct, Commissioner Wardlaw, before it's all said and done. Commissioner Wardlaw said, well, you've got $300,000 set aside. It's probably going to cost $1 million before we get done. My answer to him was yes. So by the time we get done, if we don't find a grant, a general fund, between the money that we have set aside, the 355 and everything else, we will be hitting with the electrical closer to the $1 million than the 750,000. Let's put it like that. Is that a true statement, Carlos? Pretty much. So it's,
Judge, there's one thing, when I brought up wastewater, is naturally because of septic tanks, there are going to be a lot less people outside the city limits relying on wastewater lines than the water lines. Because water, we've got septic tanks in most parts of the county, and so our reliance on the wastewater as a county is much lower than the water. And the water provides the revenue that you're referring to. Just a note that dawned on me since our tour.
yeah. And they make money off both water and wastewater. I will tell one more thing, one more time, that I was very appreciative of the city manager and, council and, Mr. Velasquez for taking us on this deal. But this trunk line, has been talked about since, and I know of personally, since 2010. Because when we owned the duck pond, we had engineers out there talking about it. So that's been at least 15 years. So, any comments? We good? I'm sorry I took up time, but I thought it was important. Okay. Item 20, discussion possible action on adult drug treatment program.
Motion to approve, Judge. This is just to apply for grants.
To apply for a grant, and we've already given them permission to approve, to apply, I'm sorry.
Judge?
The issue that we had with this is that it comes to us and then if there's changes in it before we do the application, I look at it, Matt looks at it, Judge Gonzalez prepares it, and there was a thing in there about paying a flat rate, a flat fee. But that's not what we have in our policy. There's some other grants that are in place right now that individuals that work for the county are also part of that program. So we took care of that this past week, that the individuals that are getting a paycheck from the county, how do you differentiate their hours between the hours on any one of these specialty course or specialty programs? Okay. So we worked through that this past week. And then getting back to the flat rate, my concern was when you're paying them a flat rate, how do you keep track of their hours? And then the people that we have right now, when we look at their hours, Matt, you correct me if I'm wrong. When we look at their hours, they're not on a flat rate, they're on an hourly rate. And then they turn in a timesheet and they get paid based on that, even though the program looks like it's broke down. Whatever that dollar amount is, it looks like it's broke down into 12 months or whatever. There's a set amount that they spend every month for that individual. And then they work so many hours in order to get those funds. We're working a lot at the beginning of the month, and not doing a whole lot the last 2 weeks of the month. Is that correct? So my concern with this is that the wording on there that says flat rate, I don't like the word flat rate. I want to be able to track their hours, and I needed the court to understand that, and that's how come I was bringing it to y'all. I think one of the things that we talked about yesterday with Judge Gonzalez is if we apply for this and we get it, then we could change the wording back, or we could pay in a different manner than what we're doing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, because, again, I'm bringing it to y'all, I just need y'all to understand, I'm not happy with the way this is right now. I don't like the flat rate terminology. I think we need to be like our employees get paid. If you work an hour, you get paid for the hour. If you work an hour and a half, you get paid for the hour and a half. I need to be able to keep track of what we're doing.
Judge, but at the end of the day, if we were to get that grant, I mean, we have the right to control it, right? I mean,
We have,
to
yes.
doing away with flat rate and doing it the way you're saying.
And there's concerns. We visited with Judge Gonzalez last week, and this week also when you came in yesterday. I need y'all, I wanted y'all to know what's going on, okay?
So I want the
Judge,
judge,
you're up.
everyone else to know, I met with the judge yesterday, I gave him a breakdown of the budget, and it's not on a flat rate. So it's on an hourly rate, okay? And so.
You have two different programs that were.
Juvenile and the adult drug court. Last year I applied for juvenile grant, I didn't get it. So if we do get it, the budget will come and the grant will let us know that it's available. It'll come to the judge through Debbie Esser and Carl Esser, and he'll be asked to certify it, so he'll have a chance to review it before, if we do get awarded, and before it comes to him, I'll send a courtesy copy to all of the commissioners and to the county judge of the actual grant and the budget, so you can look at the wording. And, it'll comply with the wishes of the
So right
board.
now, it's not guaranteed that we're even getting the grant, am I right?
No, sir, but I just want you to know that, I did provide Judge Owens a breakdown. It's not at a flat rate, it's at an hourly rate.
All I would ask from you, Judge, if you were to get the grant money, any future changes, minor or major, bring it to the attention of the court
Oh, yeah.
concerning that grant money,
Well-
or whoever you hire.
What we do is when we go to make the changes, most of the time we're in such of a time crunch, that the changes are made, just like with OLS. There's an email that goes out, you make grant adjustments, and that change happens, within a matter of days. It's a matter of going through the auditor's office, going through the department, whoever is handling it, and the judge's office. Then we make those changes, it gets submitted. What we can do is bring back, and this is the reason that I wanted to bring it to y'all, is that we're dealing with this, and I needed y'all to know that I had a hiccup, so,
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with moving forward, but I want y'all to understand what we're going through right now.
That's fine. Well, it's not on a flat rate, I can assure you of that. And, any modification, for instance, I'll give you an example. There's $12,000 that's available to transfer over. We'll be asking, Debbie Esser to do the budget adjustments because we need to buy $12,000 worth of drug kits, testing kits. Now, that's happens really quick, just like Judge Owen says. It comes back to him, Debbie sends it to him, and he either approves it or he doesn't. But it has nothing to do with personnel. If, I will be hiring a case manager for the juvenile court, and I will be hiring a case manager for the drug court, if the funds are expended. This is not a matching grant fund. There's not a penny that has to be matched by
by the county.
I just think
second
it's
that
all-
motion, Judge.
Okay, you made a motion?
Yes, sir.
Second, Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against, motion carries. Carlos, thank you, Judge.
Now, be excused, if there's any major changes, I will bring it to the court's attention.
Well, Judge, thank you.
And I'll send you a courtesy copy of the budget.
For the future, every time you come up, may I be excused.
Well, that's the way I was raised.
I get it.
That's
I
the
get
right
but-
way to
but
do it.
Please don't.
Mr. Martinez.
I get
knows
it.
that.
I get it.
Professional courtesy to the court.
I understand.
It's the respect, that's what it is.
I get it, Judge.
All right.
But Judge, no need. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Carlos? Yeah, please. He made some bigger copies. I needed to bring this to y'all's information, to y'all's attention also. Jesus Christ. I can see him now.
Okay. Okay.
These are properties that have already been struck off, they've been put out for bid. We didn't get what we wanted, or the entities did not get what they wanted. And if you'll look over the right-hand side, all the way to the right-hand side, there's properties. Maybe smaller. If you look all the way over to the right-hand side, you're gonna see some wording on there. And again, I'm not picking on this city, they do an amazing job. But I have a concern, and I voiced it here in court, and I voiced it with, our tax attorneys. There was a sale last week, There was a sale last week, there were some properties that you have what's owed in dollars in taxes and cleanup and everything, and then there's another line item where they start. Sometimes we don't even hit, what the starting bid is. So we end up with these properties. There is a process by statute that they've got to go through it. You've got to bid so many times, go through it, and then at that point, what they're struck off, now they belong, we have more leeway in order to get rid of them. I would ask that when these properties come back up, and maybe direction now, that we're losing a ton of money on these properties because they're not, we own them, the taxing entities own them. So they're not paying taxes on it. So even when you look at some of these, there's one on there, also, Commissioner, that I think that the city wanted, on Main Street. I think it's on the next page. Like I told them, if one of the taxing entities want it, bring it to us so we can scratch it off and let y'all have it, whatever. I don't care. But the rest of them, I would hope that this court would be okay with just get a bid. I don't care what the bid is. My opinion is it doesn't matter. We need to get them off of the struck off list and get them back on the tax roll where we can start collecting taxes, and we quit paying to have them cleaned. The city was gonna send us a letter, to go clean Garza and go clean all these other lots, and I told, we're not going. The county's not gonna go clean them. Just because we're listed as trustee doesn't mean that we own the lots by ourselves. It's all the taxing entities own the lots. If we could get these lots off of, out of our names, then let whoever buys them clean them. And let it go to them. We keep slapping liens on them, when we go clean them, we slap another dollar amount. Heck, we couldn't get rid of it for what was owed last week, and now this week there's another lien. So I'm bringing this to y'all, to y'all's attention that if it would be all right with y'all, if we could make a motion to our tax attorneys and make a motion that just bring us a bid. At this point, it really, at least on these right here, bring us a bid. It doesn't matter what the bid is, just bring us a bid. So we can accept it or deny it. And again, they're working hard. I mean, I'm not throwing rocks at them either. But they need to bring us a bid. They need to go through the process. That way the taxing entities, can make a choice and make a decision. My personal opinion is, I don't care if they bid $1 on some of the stuff that there's $80,000 of. It's gonna continue to be owed. I don't have any money coming in. We don't have any funds coming in. And they're all liabilities.
So what's the direction that you'd like to?
I'd like
suggest?
if we could have a motion that our attorneys bring us a bid on all these pieces, on all these properties. Go out, go through the process and get us a bid from the citizens to purchase these lots.
I will make that motion, Judge. Hopefully we can get
And
that.
once they're cleaned up, Judge, it's expensive to get them.
Sir?
It's expensive to
It is,
get them. You
it
gotta
is.
clean them up.
And, Commissioner Vasquez, I have a second.
I'll second that for discussion, just real quick. We don't have to go through the process of the auction itself.
This
I mean,
right here,
It's open to, like, right now, if somebody wants to turn in a bid on a,
their process on some of these lots, my understanding is they can turn in a bid. Fair enough.
it's
But
open right now.
I would feel more comfortable if they held an auction.
Yeah,
That way we're not liable. If they hold an auction up front, post all of them again, hold an auction up front, and bring us the bid.
if we can, include that as part of the motion, that would be great.
Can I ask something?
Of course.
Okay, so it has these bid amounts, and some of that has to be base tax, and some of it has to be penalty and interest and attorney's fees. Can we make the motion where we won't take less than the base tax
No.
amount?
No.
No, you don't want that?
Commissioner, what we're having issues with is that these have already been put out 2 or 3 times, and we can't get to the base amount.
No, but are these amounts the base amount, or is it the penalty and interest and attorney's fees? Because it just says minimum bid, so I'm asking.
And they've lowered them below what is actually owed on the lots. Does that answer your question?
Not completely, but, okay.
No, I mean, because if I can't answer it, then we're gonna go get
Because-
your answer.
Because a lot of times, the penalty and interest is more than the base tax. Okay, so like one of these that has minimum bid of 9,000, it could be 4,000 of base tax and 5,000 of penalty, interest, and attorney.
In a lot of these lots right here, we'd have to go one by one, then I'd have to go back and ask on some of them. A lot of them, they've lowered even below whatever the base tax was owed. In other words, the penalty and everything's already been taken off, and it's below whatever the base
Okay.
tax was owed. And we're not even able, go ahead, I'm sorry,
Judge,
all the time.
I think that, the motion, obviously is just to bring the bid back, not necessarily to accept it. So they would bring it back to this court and you all could make that determination on a case-by-case basis, whether or not you're going to accept it.
And then we could have that discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're not waiving your right to have that discussion.
Okay.
On a property-by-property basis.
Okay.
And Commissioner Garcia, again, in my opinion, I don't care if it brings us back $1 bit. So.
You just want to get it back on the tax roll?
Yes, and I don't want to have to be cleaning them. We're not, I mean,
Okay.
we have 219 or something, Garza or whatever, we get letters from the city to go clean it. Why we go clean it? Let's,
Okay.
and some of this stuff, we're waiting on another taxing entity to approve the bid, which, but only one taxing entity has not approved the bid, and all of us, it's already come back to us. When you look at all the way across on the right-hand side.
So all three of us would have to agree, the city,
Everybody.
the county, the school.
Everybody. But there's properties already, when you look at the right-hand side, back one column, there's properties that they've received the bid.
Pending.
The majority of the taxing entities have already approved the bid, even though it's lower than everything else. Just to get them off the tax roll, we have one taxing entity that won't approve the bid. So it's holding everything up.
Is it the same taxing entity?
Yes.
The same on the Tony list.
Yeah. Again, I have no rights. I'm trying real hard. Oh, well.
Okay.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? I'm sorry. they took the whole thing. 22, discussion possible action on allowing Veterans Office to transport veterans to Uvalde for doctor's appointments. This would not cost, this is the most important part. This would not cost us any more money than what we've already set aside for transportation that we're doing to Eagle Pass and stuff like that. You'd be using the same
I will
funds.
make a motion to approve that.
Second.
That is correct, Judge. And just to let the court know, the transportation program along with the foot traffic in our office has increased exponentially. So, and it's evident in the travel logs that we're using. So a lot of people are taking advantage of the money that the court allocated, and it's been a tremendous help. It's been a tremendous help. So it's growing.
And then in May we have coming up then, you have an event in May.
Yeah, we have an event. We're planning a Memorial Day service, and this year, traditionally, it's been done at the Civic Center, and I want to move it to the courthouse, county courthouse. So we're on the planning stages already, forming a committee among us to make a real nice Memorial Day event at the county courthouse, and we definitely would love the court to attend. and receive recognition for all the
Yeah,
small.
and I think it would be nice. It would be a great thing for all the members of the court to attend.
And just one more thing, Judge,
Save us a
moving forward, down the road, November 8th, we have our annual Veterans Appreciation Luncheon this year. We're moving it to the Civic Center. We're planning on making it a big event so that we can have people come and enjoy honoring our veterans. And so that's going to be a good event also.
You're gonna need money.
No, I think we're going to be fine. We'll see. For
Oh,
now,
great.
yeah, I've spoke to Lino, and I think the city so far it's a bit great. They're going to be able to work with us on the cost of the Civic Center. A lot of the fundraising is done by the Lions Club and loan for some of the.
Well, I know we provided, the court provided,
Yes,
money the last go round.
right. And we
So,
haven't touched that yet.
We will, offer that again. We'll have to bring it back to the court. But if we need funds, we're all family here, so if we need funds.
Thank you, Judge.
Please. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Thank you. Motion carries. Item 23, discussion possible action of approval for Valverde County to enter into agreement with AEP.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Have a motion, Commissioner
I'll
Flores.
second.
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Sir?
Commissioner Garcia.
No, I can't see. I'm sorry.
I'm good.
We good?
It passed, I'm good.
Your stop sign.
My stop sign went.
How's your stop sign
Oh,
going?
it's back one bad.
It's going back. There's more, there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on now. Item 24, discussion possible action on approving the use of county right-of-way for permit 532.
I'll make a motion that we approve, Judge, and I'd like to make a comment here, Mr. Carlos. So, Mr. Carlos, we sent them out an email and I gave them a phone call. The, Frontier's using some subcontractors and then in return, they're using other subcontractors and they've been all over the place with no signage. Yesterday they had all of Benita blocked off, no signage on the roadway, either on 2523 or, Benita Lane, so we could send them another email to kind of slow
Let's send him a nasty email.
Yeah.
Those
Unfriendly one.
Unfriendly.
Those are the guys that Commissioner Flores was talking about, leaving the brush on the roadway. They're Russians, they don't speak English. I've stopped and talked to
Well,
them.
these guys are doing a good job
Hold
on
on.
safety wise.
I've got a motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
Second, Commissioner Garcia, I'm sorry. Is there anything else?
No.
Unfriendly, not nasty, unfriendly email. Are they still working in your precinct?
They are.
Are they working in yours? Not yet?
I've seen them around. And then they just cut the brush and where it falls, it stays.
Not yet?
Yeah, they won't.
Where it falls, it stays.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just sort of bunch it together. Okay. Make it a real unfriendly.
Unfriendly.
Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 25, discussion possible action on approving
Motion to
use.
approve, Representative.
Motion, Commissioner Vasquez. Second, Commissioner Flores. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 28, thank you. Discussion, possible action twice to amend and adopt section 3, purchasing guidelines of the county purchasing policy procurement manual allowing goods and services allocated and funded from grant funds over $5,000 but under
Make a motion that
$50,000.
we approve that, Judge.
Okay, have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. Example.
An example would be like, let's say we're gonna buy item A at $6,000. Anything over $5,000, as it states in our policy manual, we have to bring back to court because it's an asset. Okay? This will allow us, if it's a specific item listed on the grant, this will allow me to go ahead and procure that item without having to bring it back to court, just to get it approved because it's an asset. Up to 49, up to the.
Up to 49,999.
Yeah.
99.
For example, a truck, a tractor,
As long as it's under 50,000, it's specific for that grant. Now, something like ARPA funds, that would not, qualify because that was
You okay with this?
given. It's more like the OLS
I just
grant.
need you to give me an example.
Okay.
I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. You got a headache?
No.
All those in favor?
You're behaving. but-
I am, I'm trying
But
real
you're going
hard.
off track.
I've only redlined myself for once. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 29, discussion of action to approve the purchase.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 30, discussion of possible action to approve change order number 3.
We'll make a motion to keep that item, Judge.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 31, discussion possible action to authorize purchasing to advertise for bids to haul materials,
Motion to
lay base. This right here, there's a couple of items, 31, 32, and 33. I don't know what y'all want to do. We have the fire station, the event center, and, target range. We can go out for bids, or we need help from all the precincts in order to be able to haul this material. The fire station and the event center is probably not going to be that big of a deal on hiring somebody to go do it. The target range is we're going to be a little bit tighter on funds, that we're going to have to be creative and make sure that we're able to finish out the inside at the target range with the funds that we have. So I asked Melissa to put this on so we could have a discussion. It is going to take time from each one of y'all's precincts to do this. Again, there will be money, in my opinion, in the fire station and the event center to have somebody haul it and lay it in place. There should be enough funds for that.
But where are you gonna haul it from? CSA or?
We're going to get
We're
prices
gonna
from
have to
both
get bids.
CSA and from
CSA is right there.
Well, we'll get prices from both. That way we do the procurement process correct.
No, we're not obligated to take it, we can do it ourselves still.
Yes.
We can go out for bid and then, bring it back, and either accept or reject.
So the target range, Judge, is what you're more worried about?
The target range, we're strapped for funds in all of them. Just throw that out there before we have elected officials that I said there's a lot of money, which we don't. Okay. So the target range is the one that yes, we're gonna be, it's gonna be harder to complete that project with everything that we need in it. But it's gonna take, you're talking between these three projects, if all four precincts put in a dump truck or two dump trucks and then if you put two people from each precinct in order to get these three projects done, by the time you get them done, you'll have 6 weeks out of y'all's time. Probably the next 6 months out. And that's how come I asked her to put it on. It's a lot of time to be taking out of y'all's precincts.
Target range. How much money is available there? I mean, it's a lot of money.
We have 1.5 that we borrowed, 1.5 million, and then I think we're about 1.1, 1.2 that we still have in the account. Berna, the event center and the event center's coming out of insurance. The fire station, we had $980,000 set aside. So I'm not too concerned about contracting a lot of the other two out. I am really concerned about contracting the target range out because of the dollars, and we'll know more once we go out for bid on that one. Which that one, I think we're still waiting. It seems like we wait on environmental forever. We can't find no birds or no fish or nothing that are endangered, but we still have to wait. But I know that it's gone to all the tribes. Letters have been sent out to all the tribes. The response has been positive, but we're still waiting on environmental on that one. But if we go out for bid, you just made the comment, we could always reject. I do think, though, that it's going to be hard for the precincts to do this work because of the amount of time that it's going to take away from them. We're just going to have to be real creative with
If we
it.
go out for bids.
I'll second.
Motion Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. We good? Okay. Depending on what it comes back at, we'll sit down and go over all the numbers before we make a decision.
Okay.
That work? Okay. Before all of us make a decision. Item 32, discussion possible action authorized purchasing agent to advertise for bids for compaction testing at the fire station event center target range. This one here, we just need to go out and get a company to do the testing.
Motion approved.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 33, discussion possible action on a purchase agent to advertise for bids.
Motion to approve, Judge.
And when we get back, depending on what the dollar amount is, then we'll figure out where the funding's coming from.
Okay.
For what precinct is that?
This is going to be a pad foot roller, in case we reject the bids on item 31.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just put it all back together and bring it back to the court. And because the equipment that we have, in order to compact all of the pads, using a steel wheel roller just ain't gonna work. Okay. Who gave me the motion? Commissioner Flores? Who second?
Second, Judge.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 34, discussion possible action.
Motion to approve, presented, Judge.
Do I have a second?
Second, Judge.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 35, discussion possible action authorized Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez to sign.
Motion to approve.
A motion, Commissioner Flores.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Wardlaw. Any discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 36, discussion possible action.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second.
Commissioner Vasquez gave his first, I made a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw seconded it, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 37, discussion possible
Motion to
action.
approve, Judge.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Sheriff. Item 38, discussion possible
Motion
action.
to approve, presented, Judge.
I will second that, Judge.
A motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 39, closed session consultation pursuant to Texas Government Code A551.071, parentheses 2, attorney-client privilege, B551.071, parentheses 1, parentheses 8, contemplated litigation, C551.072, regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, possible action or concession thereafter, D551.073, regarding a negotiated contract, lease, or value of real property, possible action or concession thereafter, E551.076, regarding security devices, security audits, and security personnel. If y'all will give us the room, please. And then we'll come back in executive session. Here we go. It's 11:14. We'll come back from executive session. No action was taken. Commissioners' comments? None?
No.
Judges' comments? We do have a meeting this afternoon at 3 o'clock with the city and other partners for the Washington trip. Attendees will be Commissioner Juan Vasquez, no, starting in order, Commissioner Kerr Wardlaw, Commissioner Juan Vasquez, and Commissioner Fernando Garcia will be attending the Washington trip that is scheduled the 3rd through the 6th of March. Those will be the 3 members of the court that will be attending. This afternoon, there will be 2 members attending the partner group or whatever, which will be myself and Commissioner Vasquez. So just for the record. And then we will try to schedule something with Ms. Burkhart for next week. I think she said on the 19th. I will send an email to her saying that we would be glad to attend a tour of the water treatment plant. And we will post it on our website. That no action will be taken, but there will be a quorum. And I want to thank her and Greg for the tour that we took this week, and City Council. we'd already lifted the ship before, but, it was still there.
Good way to put it.
But it was enlightening, it really was, you know,
Now we know from where it comes.
Or where it goes.
where it goes, yeah.
I wanna,
It was a pretty crappy tour, actually.
and before I get in trouble, you know, they were court meetings, just so, I didn't know another word for actually, to say for that, but, it wasn't a bad word.
Feces.
You know. It didn't come to me. Yes, sir, we good? Okay. Item 42,
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores,
Second.
second Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor to adjourn? Aye. Thank y'all.